It's 7:40 in the morning here in Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm getting ready to meet up with the #2 ranked natural bodybuilder in the world for a training session. I'm nervous. You guys are gonna get to meet him. We're gonna go through a great workout, but I gotta head there right now, so let's go. All right, guys, so we just arrived here at Boost Fitness in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm getting ready to meet up with the man, Gary Aminger. Let's go. Gary, man, what's up?
Nice to finally meet you, brother.
Pleasure's all mine.
Awesome. Looking forward to this workout, man.
Absolutely. You gonna kill me today?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's go.
Meet Gary Aminger, an American WNBF professional natural bodybuilder, 2022 WNBF world silver medalist, ranked #2 on the entire planet, former professional fitness model, and online physique coach.
I'm just looking at where your elbows are driving.
Okay.
That's how I'm dictating where you should be. Much better.
How many?
Just get one more. This looks easy. Nice. Actually, the last warm-up I'm doing is very close to my working weight.
Okay.
So I get the feel for that heavy weight before I actually do my working set.
Word.
I really don't go to failure too much. So,
Okay.
because going to failure too much, it creates too much fatigue, and that'll make you weaker in today's workout, tomorrow, and next week, because fatigue accumulates.
Right.
So I try not to go to failure too much.
Got you. Okay.
How many more could you have gotten if you just kept going? Do you think? Like,
I probably could have squeezed out 8. I think after 8, I would have probably would have hit failure.
okay. And you got how many? 6?
6, yeah.
So that would be, are you familiar with the RPE scale?
RP scale, no.
So that's an intensity scale. It's an estimated intensity scale. So it's 1 to 10, 10 being failure, 9 being 1 from failure, 8 being 2 from failure, and so on and so forth down to 1. So that would be an 8 RPE if you could have only gotten 2 more. So that's how I gauge my intensity a lot of the time.
Okay.
I see like my proximity to failure, and I look at the RPE scale accordingly. That's how I do it.
Word, okay.
It's not perfect, but it's like the best thing we have to like gauge your intensity levels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so you're what are everything you're tracking on here?
Yeah, I mean, so this is, I never train without my training log. So it's my exercises, the amount of sets, the rep range, and the RPE, like we talked about.
Uh-huh.
So today, or this exercise in particular, it's 6 to 7 RPE. So I want to be from 4 to 3 reps from completely failing.
Okay.
Now it's not perfect, but it's a good gauge. Sometimes I'm a little under, sometimes I'm a little over, but as long as I'm in that ballpark, like that's where I'm trying to be at.
Right, okay. So, and this is natural, complete natural bodybuilding.
Complete, yeah.
What does that like entail versus like, I know with other bodybuilding you have, you know, the enhancing drugs,
Yeah.
and then you have just more like protein powder, creatine. Is that still all fall under, those things still fall under like the natural category, right?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. So like the most potent thing we can use is creatine and protein powder.
Okay.
Peptides, SARMs, hormones, diuretics, we cannot use.
Okay.
So this is the truly natural bodybuilding organization in the WNBF. It's the most strict drug testing wise. I get off-season drug tested as well. I think it was a couple months before Worlds, they came to where I was working out 12-hour advance. I did a urinalysis. We do polygraph before competition, and then urinalysis right after we get off stage. Wow. So it's the most comprehensive drug testing in natural bodybuilding.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is the like biggest challenges versus being a natural bodybuilder versus, I guess, the guys who are using enhancing drugs to get their physique or help with the, you know, their, like, how does that Like, what is your biggest challenge being all natural?
The thing is, it's hard to really say because I've never used before, so I don't really know how it feels to be on PEDs. One thing I'm impressed with enhanced athletes is the amount of money they devote to drugs.
Wow.
It's quite a lot. So I give them a lot of credit for being able to pay for that, pay for their home, their family, and everything else they have to pay for, and be a full-time bodybuilder. I think that's the number one thing that stands out. Number two, your recovery time should be way less, so you could train more. And if you're training more with more volume, usually that increases muscle growth. And I'm sure there's a plethora of drugs that do, you know, many different things that I'm not too sure about. But the recovery time is going to be drastically different for a natural athlete versus someone who uses PEDs.
So when you made the decision to just stick with, you know, being natural, you never even tried any enhancing drugs, was it an ethical thing, or just like, is there, you know, is it good or bad to use the drugs, or like, what is your take on that?
I don't think, if you're not hurting anybody, I don't care if you use PEDs. I don't. I know plenty of cool people that use PEDs. They're the nicest people in the world, but sometimes the drugs make people a little, you know, volatile in their emotions.
Okay.
So no one wants to be around that.
Gotcha.
But aside from that, I don't care. If it makes you happy, go for it.
Gotcha.
For me, I trained at Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym in New York, which is the biggest bodybuilding gym in the world, arguably.
Wow.
And I just never once looked at the Olympias and were like, I want to look like that. So I just stayed natural because I knew people were using, and I'm like, I just don't want to go down that road. Just a personal preference.
Wow.
That's it.
Cool. One thing I realized here is like protein powder and pre-workout is more expensive than like it is at home.
I noticed that right away.
Yeah.
That's the only downside here.
Yeah.
That's it. Nice, man. Good range of motion. Nice. Beautiful. No ego, just clean. Good stuff, man. I'll take anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Usually I take a longer rest for like big compound lifts, like a squat or a deadlift, and less rest for like, say, a cable lateral or press down.
What's the reasoning behind the rest time? Because like, one thing about the fitness industry is you hear so many different voices telling you, like, train to failure every time. Don't rest too long in between sets, and rest too long for some people could be 1 minute, 2 minutes. Like, what is your logic behind your rest times? I know you kind of mentioned it earlier about like, you know, you don't want to train too fatigued too much. Yes. So like, can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, so again, if you're going to failure too much, you're creating so much fatigue that's going to impact your performance for like the subsequent sets afterwards, which is no good. The name of the game is really to get as many stimulative reps as possible. And if you're going balls to the wall at every set, you're going to limit the amount of repetitions you could do in the future, and also the amount of weight. So that's why we kind of scale back from failure. That's the main thing. In terms of rest, I like to rest until I'm almost completely recovered.
Oh, okay.
Because if I'm almost completely recovered from a cardiovascular standpoint and a central nervous system standpoint, well, guess what? I'm going to be able to use more weight and do more reps. If I'm inhibited by cardiovascular or my muscular fatigue or what have you, well, now I'm not going to be able to go as heavy or do more reps, and that's going to inhibit the amount of volume I do, which blunts muscle growth. So that's the, you don't even have to look at numbers. Like, I like to time my rest, but I could feel when I should go and when I should rest more.
So it's more or less you're just listening to your body.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, so we here first?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
nice. So here, I just want you to rotate out more and then press. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
Nice. Once a week, just to work on technique. And I wouldn't push too hard because I don't want it to affect my bodybuilding. I'm already training for. Yeah.
So your training sessions, like, are you doing it 4 hours at one session, or do you split it between two?
It's about 6 on average 4-hour sessions.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, I don't know how many bodybuilders are doing it for that long.
Yeah, no, that's definitely long.
People look at me like, what the heck are you doing in there for 4 hours? Awesome.
So Gary, you're 37.
Yes.
How long have you been training bodybuilding? Like, when did you first start?
So I started training in my like home gym when I was like 13 or 14.
Wow.
I started out with body weight exercises, and then my dad got me like some really old like barbells and dumbbells and a little Nautilus machine, which had like an extension, a pull down, like one of those all-in-one things. So I did that for a while, and then about 16 years old, I went to my first gym, Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym in New York, big bodybuilding gym as we talked about. And from there, I mean, I just kind of fell in love with it. You know, I've been doing it ever since, 20 years. My first competition was at 19 years old at the Hercules, the INBF Hercules.
Wow.
I placed second in the teenage division, and I just caught the bug. I tried other things while bodybuilding, especially like in my early 20s and late teens. I did a little bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, fitness modeling, commercial acting. I was just trying to taste as much as possible.
Right.
And then at 25 years old, I decided I want to be the best I could be at this sport, and I'm not doing anything else.
Wow.
So it takes me to now. Yeah.
So was your father an influence on bodybuilding, or like what made you want to do it? Like,
I would say what made me want to do it most is I was always pretty small as a kid. Athletic, lean, but not much weight to me. And I had a couple stepbrothers who were super athletes and a lot older than me. And they were like all-state football players and collegiate football players, like just big, tough guys. And I grew up around them. And being small around them, it wasn't a good situation.
yeah.
So that really sparked me to kind of get stronger and gain weight, to try to hold my own with those guys.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like who you're around kind of is who you become. So you were around bigger guys, so you became bigger as a result.
Exactly.
That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
and then once you start gaining muscle and gaining strength, it's just a bug, and you just want to keep going, going, going. And
Yeah.
you know, it became quote unquote an addiction. You know, and now this is my healthy addiction.
What's like your longest rest period? I know you said you train 6 days a week, 6-hour like sessions or 4-hour sessions.
Yeah.
What is your longest rest period? Like, is it always only just 1 day a week rest, or have you ever taken a time where you take like a whole week off, or like?
That's a good question. So after competing, I'll do like a 4-day or a 3-day per week split, because after you compete, especially in natural bodybuilding, your hormones are plummeted because you have to get super, super lean, and that takes your testosterone down to the basement. So your connective tissue needs to heal, your hormones need to be rebalanced, and during that time after competition, I lower my training volume to allow me to recover. But 6 months later, I'm going 5 days a week, and then 9 months to a year later, I'm going back to my normal 6 days per week, 4 hours a day on average, which is where I'm at now. I think I'm a year and 2 months post-Worlds, so I'm pretty much, back in the mix full on now.
Nice, nice. Yeah. All right, we're gonna aim for 6. Oh yeah.
Good set, intense.
Those last 2 is where I feel it.
Maybe get a couple more. Let's see.
All right, we're gonna try to go 50. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, so the target here is 6. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't even need me. Easy. Boom. Nice.
Yeah, I was almost at failure there.
Dude, that's man. You could tell you just remove your ego. You focus on the technique. You're not trying to push like super intense. Yeah. That's pretty rare, especially for someone in their 20s. You know, they just want to go balls to the wall and, you know, like you're...
I'm just trying to, you know,
calm.
just...
assassin.
Yeah.
Just calm assassin.
Diet. Like, what is your diet as a bodybuilder like? And what are some misconceptions about dieting when it comes to bodybuilding?
Ooh, there's a lot of them. Okay, so my diet is something we call flexible dieting. Now I'm hitting a certain calorie range every day.
Okay.
And a certain amount of macros, which is proteins, carbs, and fats. Barring that, which is the most important thing, I'll hit soft guidelines. Certain amount of vegetables, certain amount of fruits, certain amount of fiber, and I'll eat anywhere from like 3 to 5 meals per day.
Okay.
But that's really the generalized explanation of how I eat. It's pretty simple. You know, you're hitting a certain amount of calories with some soft guidelines, but I could really eat any kind of food that I want within reason, as long as it's within my calories.
Okay.
So when people say, oh, I can't eat pizza, I can't have ice cream, you know, chocolate, burgers, you can have that stuff. They just need to be within your calorie range. I think that's super important, because people think a certain food will make them fat. It's not the specific food that's making you fat, it's the amount of calories in that food. For example, if I ate 1,000 calories of broccoli, that's roughly the same thing as 1,000 calories of a burger.
Wow.
To your body, for body composition. Now one's healthier, you're getting more phytonutrients and micronutrients in the broccoli, but in terms of like body composition, there's really not much difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Okay, so you're cool with the cheat days, like you can it just really depends on how you're feeling. Like if you're craving something, you don't try to avoid it, you just, as long as it fits in your calories, you go for it.
And all my clients are doing the same exact thing.
Wow.
You know, they come to me with, oh, I have to eat chicken and broccoli, chicken and rice for 5 meals every single day. And then they're like, wait, I could have a little pizza, I could have a little ice cream, and I'll still get ripped or gain muscle. It's like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And my clients and myself are living proof of that.
Yeah. A lot of videos you see online, like you'll see, you know, big fitness guys, and like the meals will be super boring, like chicken, like no seasoning, no extra nothing, just rice, chicken, broccoli every day. I'm like, I understand that there's discipline behind that, but it's like you want to throw in some, you know, make it a little bit exciting.
Right, like you don't have to do that every day. Now that's not to say that isn't healthy food. That's very nutritious food they're eating, especially when they're getting in their vegetables. But you don't have to eat that every single meal, every single day. You do not have to do that.
Is there anything specifically that you just stay away from? Like, is there anything where it's like, this is actually bad? Like, what?
Not really. No, I have to say.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
That's definitely
name something, and I'll see if it triggers something in my head where I I can't have that. I can't think of anything.
So here in Thailand, they have the 4-patty Big Mac at McDonald's. Is that okay?
Again, so it's not the healthiest thing. I'll eat that in moderation. Right? So I'm not saying like eat McDonald's every day or Burger King, but add that in when you feel like you want it. You know, once, twice a week, whatever it is, as long as it's not like an everyday thing, you know, because saturated fat is a thing. It's not the healthiest, especially coming from like meats and things like that. So keep things in moderation, but I'll never say you can never have that ever. Like that, no.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I want to expand a little bit more on the last conversation. So should everyone, regardless of whether they're bodybuilding or whatever, count calories? Is that essential, do you think? Or just have a little bit, basically a vague awareness of your calorie intake, or?
I think that's a great idea. Even if you're a runner or you do like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai, I think you should track your calories to a point. I don't believe you have to be as strict as a bodybuilder, because food and training is just so, they're equally as important. You could be like a fighter or a football player and just kind of pound the calories, and it's almost like your body's not even like feeling it because you're burning so many. I mean, think of a swimmer, right? Michael Phelps was eating like 10,000 calories a day. If he's off by 1,000, it's not going to mean much. Now, for someone like me who's eating 4,000, 4,500, if I'm off by 1,000, that'll mean a lot because it's a higher percentage.
Right.
So I do think that anyone trying to get in shape in particular should track their calories.
Got you. So I think I'm picking up from like talking to a professional bodybuilder is like, when you're online doing research, I feel like you just got to be very careful of like basically like who you're listening to. If anyone's too on one side, I think, could that be sort of like I don't want to say like a red flag, but like if you're using it like as a meter to gauge how good the advice is you're getting. If someone's like all on this way or all on this way, should you kind of look for more of a balance when it comes to health advice and fitness?
I think that's great because there's a gray area in everything in life, and there's rarely absolutes. So I'm in here, I need to train 4 hours per day to grow. I have to. If I do any less, I'm not gonna grow that much. Now I know people like world champion natural bodybuilders that come in here and train for 45 minutes and they're ridiculous. Their physique is insane. Why? Genetics.
Gotcha.
Everybody's different.
Right.
So I think that applies to everything in life, especially with diet.
All right, guys, last set. Time to go big or go home.
I like that. That's the tricks.
All right, I'm gonna try to do 60 for this last set.
Okay.
Whew. All right, guys, last set, empty stomach. I know if I had pre-workout, I could hit this, but let's see. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You got it. Keep it moving. Yep. One more. Just keep it moving. You got it. Push, 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 push. Good. Nice.
Whew.
Beautiful.
60. I'm feeling bigger already. No, I'm playing. God, I'm feeling it. So I'm gonna show you guys, so this is the difference, like, so you said your weight right now is 204. Mm-hmm. So I'm about like 200 right now. So this is the difference between like physique and like just weight. Like.
Yeah, he could beat me up though. So that's all that matters.
The typical clients you work with, are you working with people who want to bodybuild or just people who want to get fit, like the everyday person, or what does your clientele typically look like?
So my clients, they range from amateur, professional, and world-class natural bodybuilders. But also I have just general population people that want to come in here and get in shape. Lose fat, gain muscle, gain strength, increase mobility, energy. So the thing about bodybuilding is it doesn't matter if you're a competitor or not. It's going to make you healthier and look better. So you don't have to be a competitive athlete to work with me, because we're going to do roughly the same thing I would do for someone who just wants to get in shape or become a world champion. It's just the magnitude of the training.
Oh, okay.
That's really the major difference.
What's the oldest client you've worked with before?
Actually, I just posted him on Instagram. He's 62 years old. If you guys want to check it out, his name is Glenn Kennedy. I have a picture of him completely shredded at 62 years old. He looks phenomenal.
So what are some like the misconceptions with getting in shape as far as age goes? Because 62, like most people start to count you out at that age, and like, you know, like, and you're showing like you got proof that, hey, like it can happen for you at almost, I want to say any age, but still in your older years, you can still get really fit, really ripped, shredded. Mm-hmm. How does that training look like for someone older versus younger?
So the training for someone who's older is going to just be a little less intense, a little less volume, but the basic parameters of training really don't change. Someone who's older, they may have more ailments, more injuries to deal with, but you modify training around those injuries. Just like someone who comes to me who has a hurt knee. Well, he can't do leg press, but front squats feel good. He can't do leg extension, but sissy squats feel good. We just modify the training according to that specific person, And it doesn't really matter if they're 62 or 22. Again, it's the magnitude of training and it's the modification of training that counts.
Nice.
Yeah, and you for sure could gain muscle well into your 60s. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Yeah.
Nice. You guys heard it here first. No excuses.
No, there's none.
All right, so Gary, we're now in Bangkok, Thailand. I want to talk about what brought you over here to Thailand. And what's funny is like the way I even connected was that he had seen some of my videos on YouTube prior to coming to Thailand, and now we're here working out together. So it's pretty dope.
It's amazing. It's such a small world now with the internet. I mean, I saw quite a few of his YouTube videos because I was trying to get a feel for Thailand, specifically Bangkok, which is where I moved to. And his videos are just amazing, very informative, detailed, but also you could understand like what he's saying. So he's very concise too. It helped me out a lot, and I messaged him saying that it did help me, and when I am in Thailand we should meet up, you know, do whatever. And here we are. I'm like a week into Thailand and I'm training with the man Isaiah now. In terms of what has brought me here, I would say the number one thing is finances. I'm from New York, so it's getting extremely expensive. And I wanted to really focus more on coaching, content creation, and bodybuilding. So what a better place than to move here. I have a great gym, the food's amazing. I have bodybuilding friends that are here, and they showed me the ropes as well. So it's almost like I never really left home. The people were super nice, very accommodating, and I'm enjoying myself so far. Only a weekend, I got plenty to go.
Have you been eating any Thai food?
So I had salmon, which was unbelievable.
Okay.
I had cooked salmon and also I had salmon sashimi. Both just the freshest fish I think I've ever had.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
amazing.
one thing about the food here, and like especially seafood is like fresh caught every day.
Amazing.
And then like you go to the market and shop, like all the meat is fresh. And then like, I don't know if you noticed, like chicken here in Thailand is super cheap. It's
Is
so
it?
cheap.
Well, that's good because I used to eat a lot
of it.
of it.
Super cheap. Like you can go like to the grocery store and get like, I want to say like a kilogram of chicken, like say if it's boneless chicken, might cost you like $1, $2. It's super cheap.
So 2.5 pounds.
It's
is
like $1.50,
insane.
$2. It's super cheap. Like you can get a bunch of chicken for like close to nothing.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the States.
So once I start cooking, which I haven't really done yet, I'm gonna start cooking chicken and rice. That's the first thing I'm gonna start cooking. So I'm gonna take your advice on how use a rice cooker and an air fryer. Or
well,
how do you
I actually don't cook the rice because like everywhere sells rice already cooked. So like I'll go buy it from like someone on the street or whatever for like 10 baht or 5 baht.
Okay.
So you can get already cooked rice from like any market or like just literally all the stands outside. And yeah, it only costs you 5-10 baht.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of rice we talking? White,
well,
brown?
that's
like,
white rice.
White rice. Okay.
I haven't had brown rice out here. Is that what you eat, brown rice?
I could eat both.
Both?
We could do both. For sure.
You can find white rice everywhere, so that won't be a problem.
Okay.
And I said for the chicken, any of the grocery stores, Macro, Big C, Tesco Lotus, you'll find it. And yeah,
that's gonna be the
fresh
next
and
thing.
cheap.
And how do you cook the chicken? I'm sorry.
I mean, like typically, I'm just cooking my chicken like I'm like pan searing it.
Okay.
Yeah, just pan seared chicken.
Okay. That would work too.
Or I don't have an air fryer, but back home, like I would air fry or bake, but there aren't ovens in most of the places you'll live here. So yeah, either pan searing or air frying is how typically we go.
I have a hot plate at the Airbnb, so that would be perfect. I could do
there you
that.
go.
Awesome.
For this last set, where we at 102.5 kg. Actually, no, plus 5. So 107. Here we go. 1, 2.
Nice. All right, perfect.
Let's go. Here, one thing that's like super noticeable in you is like your calf muscles. I want to show the camera like, check, like look at the physique on the legs. Like I barely have anything. Like, how much do you train your calf muscles to like get to that point?
I mean, I'm training them like any other muscle, at least twice a week. And when I really want to bring up a muscle, I'll do like 3 to 4 times per week.
Gotcha.
So my calves are no different. I train them just as hard as I do back, biceps, chest. It gets hit just as hard.
So all your training sessions, you're basically isolating specific like muscles for the day. Like so today we've been doing like arms. So we did biceps. Just hit a tricep workout. Did some shoulders, right? So
And back, yes.
and back, right? So you have it broken down between days, like Monday this body part, Tuesday this. Like, is that how you?
So the
break it down?
split actually changes a lot. Right now, I'm hitting legs twice a week,
Okay,
and I'm hitting upper body 4 times a week.
got you.
So that's kind of how my split is laid out. It's upper, lower, upper, rest day, upper, lower, upper, rest day. So the upper is obviously upper body, lower's legs, and that's kind of how I'm splitting it up. Now, could you do one body part a day only? Yes, but I don't really think it's best, because think about it. If you have to do 30 sets a week, or let's just say 20 sets per week of chest, if you're doing it in one day, how much are you really going to get out of 20 sets by the time you're up to like 12 or 14? You're going to be pretty gassed to finish those last 6 to 8 sets. Now, if you split up those 20 sets in 2 days, well, now you're only doing 10 sets per day. You can go a lot harder per day on that specific muscle group because of that reason. You see what I mean? So that split is giving you more recovery.
Is that
you
sort of
could
like
hit it
the
harder.
graph where, like, say if we had like a graph that was going up and then we hit a peak, and then like after that peak is hit, basically working out beyond that leads to a decline?
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
Because
Okay.
we're only going to be able to go so hard in one day.
Right, right.
But if we split it up and just don't go as hard, and we move it to a second day, like say 3 days later in the week, we're going to be more fresh. We're going to use more weight and more repetitions.
Yeah.
So that's really the theory behind high frequency training, where you're hitting muscle groups multiple times a week instead of just one.
Right. So one question I have for you is, obviously you have, physical strength and physique is amazing. How does your mental strength play a part into, your career and your daily fitness and just maintaining yourself? Like how do you, I don't know, like what gets you in the right mindset? Like what's your kind of process behind that?
Ooh, I think we could have a long conversation about mentality. If I had, the first thing that comes to mind is kind of separating yourself from your feelings and your emotions. If you're tired, I don't really give it much weight. Let's say I'm like deep into prep and I'm super lean and I'm eating only like 2,000 calories a day, which is low for me, and I have to train for 4 hours. I don't let the fact that I'm fatigued or hungry play any part in what I have to do. It's just, this is what I have to do today. I have to do 40 sets today. This is what gets done regardless of how I'm feeling. I think that's the biggest takeaway I could give, but we could go super deep into the mentality for
So
sure.
sort of like a Marine mentality mindset, where it's just like, regardless of what's going on, like you're getting it done. It's on the list. 'Cause I like, for the everyday person, things that interrupt our routines is to say we go out on the weekend, go out too hard. Next day we're like, we're hungover, like, man, gotta skip the gym today, or I'm feeling tired, or like my girlfriend wants me to lay in bed or something. Like you just like screw all that. Like I gotta get it done every day.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, I'm hungover, but I have to train.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not like I'm hungover. I don't give myself any negotiation.
Right.
It's just like, it's like if I have to do a client program, am I going to say, well, I'm tired, I'm not going to give it 100% now. It's like, no, this person's relying on me. This gets done regardless of how I feel. So it's the same, on the same spectrum, really.
And I imagine you don't get to be the number 2 in the world by slacking. So I imagine it takes a strong mindset, and I'm gonna say soon to be number 1, right?
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, we can record this. Hey guys, I forgot to put on deodorant this morning, so I was like,
Awesome.
I feel like I smell a little bit musty. All right, smell check me now.
Yeah, you're doing your thing.
I was like,
keep it going, brother. I'll see you later. All right.
Better? Yeah, cool. Outside of working out, like what do you do to wind down, have fun? Like when the gym is aside, your mind is not on fitness, what are you thinking about? What are you doing for fun?
Man, I work so much.
Yeah.
So my fun is really bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I have the most fun in here.
Wow.
And then coaching takes up pretty much all my time. I don't have any family or friends from the US here yet to enjoy the times with them, but they're gonna be visiting soon. But I do enjoy, you know, going to the movies. The beach is a big one for me. Sightseeing, nature, things like that. I'm pretty low key. Like the days of, you know, the clubs and the bars, that's over now.
Yeah.
And I like to train, be around good people, friends, family, my girlfriend, and eat good food.
Yeah.
And relax. Yeah.
Sounds like a good life. It's a good life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't need that much to be happy, you know?
Yeah.
I love what I do and I have good people around me. That's it. That's all I need.
That's the key thing is like, you know, is when work doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just all intertwined. There's really no separation.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing that you found your sweet spot and and your happiness and passion in the gym, and obviously something that's good for you.
Yeah.
So it's a very obviously healthy habit to be in love with. So
it's very true, and I think you nailed it because a lot of people, they don't like what they do every day.
Yeah.
And their outlet is the weekend.
Right.
Is the bars, the clubs, the drinking, what have you. I've been that, you know, as a younger guy, but now I'm in a different situation and I don't feel the need to do that much. Now, will I go out, you know, once in a while? Yeah, and enjoy my friends, you know, at a bar or whatever, but it's not like I have to go every weekend. Like maybe in my early 20s, I felt that way.
Yeah.
So I'm just in a different stage in my life and I'm taking things as they come and I'm enjoying myself.
Right.
Yeah.
How long does the career of bodybuilding last? Like, is there like a tap out age where people stop competing, or like how long does that go for typically?
So with the advancements of like nutrition and training now and medicine recovery, I would say mid 40s for a natural bodybuilder, you should peak. Like you should, I say should, but you could be at a world champion level at 45.
Wow.
I'm not sure with the enhanced side, with the uses of PEDs, if that lowers your shelf life. I'm assuming it might, but for a natural bodybuilder, you could do this forever, but I think your peak is mid 40s, if I had to put a number on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick and say, if you can just, this is kind of a rapid answer.
Yeah.
5 fitness tips for the basically general population. Like to start right now, someone is like a beginner, want to start going to the gym, just 5 general fitness tips in any area, whether it's saying, you know, physique over strength or whatever you might have. So
yeah. So 1, track your calories. Use an app called MyFitnessPal to track your body weight every single day. In the morning, you know, go to the bathroom first, no clothes, no food, no water. Those 2. 3, either get very educated on evidence-based research and nutrition and training, or find someone who is. Now 2 more, don't overthink things, get in the gym, focus on technique. Nobody's perfect in here, including pros and world champion athletes. We all make mistakes, it's okay. Don't worry too much about it. 5, find an avenue of exercise you like, for the most part. Now you're not gonna love it all the time, but if you really hate bodybuilding, there's plenty of other avenues to exercise that'll get you in shape that has nothing to do with the sport.
nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Solid tips. What do you think is a realistic goal for someone? Say someone wants to focus on weight loss. What is, and I know realistic changes between the person because we all have different genetics and belief systems, whatever. But like, if someone getting started right now, they want to lose weight, what would be like a reasonable amount of weight to lose, kind of like per month?
So that's entirely dependent on how heavy they are,
Okay.
how much muscle they hold, how much fat they hold. So someone who's a little overweight, maybe they could get away with losing 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now, let's say someone who's very obese and they have hundreds of pounds to lose, they can get away with losing 10 plus pounds a month, sometimes 20. It depends on this really goes by the percentage of their body weight and roughly how much muscle they hold versus body fat. So that's going to dictate the rate of loss. So it's very, there's a wide spectrum there. So it's hard to pinpoint one, data point and say this is how much you should lose every week and just do it forever,
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. the ranking like? When you came in number 2, what was the separation between you and number 1? Like, what was the difference that I guess allowed them to take first place and you second?
So from like a physique perspective?
Yeah, I guess like how do they rank everything like as far as like I guess like points goes?
That's it's pretty complex. So there's 6 judges, 5 judges had him.
Okay.
One judge had me. The criteria for bodybuilding, there's 3 criteria. It's size, so that's muscularity, conditioning, which is like how lean and shredded you are, and proportion, how everything kind of comes together. You know, are your legs too big for your upper body? Is your upper body huge and not enough leg mass? Are you not proportionate? So that's the 3rd criteria. And then how you display all of that is how you pose.
Oh, okay.
Now posing is like the dark horse. You could have the best physique in the world, but if you don't know how to pose it, you have a good chance of losing because of it. So that's really how they're judging bodybuilders on stage.
So do you have to work with like, do you work with like any separate coaches just to like work on like posing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so Denise Ponce, she's from New York. She works with a lot of the Olympians, and she helped me tremendously with my posing.
Yeah.
And from her, now I coach posing.
Wow.
Because she taught me so much, and I've done so much research on the side that, I mean, I could really just coach anyone's posing at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. So if you're ever in New York, Denise Ponce for bodybuilding posing, one-on-one, you'll get her in person. She's phenomenal. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Dope. Finished up about a 3-hour workout. We hit biceps, shoulders, back. What else did we do today?
Triceps, core, a lot of body parts.
Yeah, it was intense, but the 3 hours went by pretty smoothly, and this was like the longest workout I've done in a long time. I know this is a little bit shorter than your average session, right? Because typically you would go 4 to 6 hours.
Yes, about 4 hours on average per day.
Okay, so this was new to me, and before coming into this, I didn't know what to expect. I'm training with, you know, a bodybuilder. Like I've been inconsistent in the gym, so I was worried about how I would do today. But I mean, like you were a great coach. You know, you didn't make it feel like any pressure really, and I think you were very helpful through all the workouts. So, man, I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, brother.
Where can people find more about you if they want to train with you, work with you one-on-one? Where do they go?
So you could find me mainly on Instagram. Gary Aminger is my tag. I post most of my training and my client stuff there. Also, I have a website, www.garyamlinger.com. That shows a lot of my client testimonials, as well as more information about my coaching. I not only coach professional and world-class bodybuilders, but also general population. People who want to just get in shape, feel good, lose some body fat, gain some muscle. I do all that. So don't just think I'm a bodybuilding coach. Bodybuilding applies to everybody, and who doesn't want to get in better shape, right? So those are my avenues to reach out to me. Looking forward to hearing back.
So all his information will be in the description below the video. So if you guys are serious about getting in shape this year, 100% check it out. I mean, like literally, who better to work with than Gary? I mean, the results speak for itself. I mean, you guys see the you guys see the calf muscles. You guys see all of it. I mean, this is hard work and dedication. And you've been in the field, you said, over 20 years?
Yeah, I've been doing this about 20 years now.
So, I mean, results speak for itself, guys. Do not forget to check them out in the description below. And before we end this video, I want you to just walk me through, maybe you can teach me a pose.
Yes.
Maybe I'll just go out in public one day and just be posing for no reason. But
okay, let's do it. Let's go.
Show me something. So what's a simple one that we can?
So we're gonna do side chest pose, one of my favorite poses. So you're gonna face this way.
Okay.
And I'll be a little in front of you to show.
Okay.
Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep your feet relatively close together. And for your right leg, I want you to kind of go up on your calves.
Okay.
And I want you to push your hips back and squat down.
Okay.
Okay? And now this is a technical pose, but we're gonna get it. Now your left quad is gonna push into your right hamstring.
Okay.
So you can almost push your hamstring to make it appear bigger, because posing is all about making yourself look bigger than you actually are. That's the art of posing. So now our legs are set here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clasp our hands like this.
Okay.
And we're gonna bring it here, and we're gonna contract our arms and chest,
Okay.
and then turn, and I just want a little higher. Yeah, you got super low, perfect. And we're gonna hit it like this, boom. And don't forget to smile.
All right, guys, I appreciate you guys joining me for this video today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.